Getting started with Quest devices and Unity 3D. Hi, my name is Rahil and this is our code. Let's get started. The first thing which you need to do is go to developers.facebook.com and sign yourself up as a developer. The sign up process is pretty straightforward. Now once you're done with that process, switch over to the device which you want to or used in order to set up your Quest. I'm going to switch over to the App Store here and look for Meta Horizon. This is the app which was earlier under a different name. I believe it was something called Meta app. Yeah, Meta Quest mobile app. That's what it was earlier. But now it has been changed to Meta Horizon. And go ahead and install or update. Now once you open the app, if you haven't paired a device, then you would be greeted with pairing a new device. Go ahead and choose the model which you would like to pair. In this case, mine is a Quest 3, so I'm going to choose Quest 3, and then it will give you further instructions on how to go about it. Now once your device is set up, make sure to go to the headset setting and choose the developer mode. By default, this will be turned off, so make sure to turn it back on. Now you would see the setting only when you had already signed up in the first step, which is basically the developer.meta.com. So unless and until you do it there, you will not get the option here. So make sure to sign up there first and then come over here and log in using the same account, and you would see the developer mode on. Now the next step which we are going to do is we are going to download and install the Meta Quest Developer Hub.
And this gives a lot of control over your device. You could install and uninstall things, and you could update firmwares. And now this gives you a lot of control over things. You could install your own applications. You could have some control over how the debugging processes. You could look at performance metrics, etc., etc.
Now once you download and install, this is how it is going to be. You'll be greeted with the news page. Now if your device is connected to the PC using the USB cable, and if you go to that device manager, you would actually see what the device has to offer. So you would see the apps which are installed on it, and you have like certain control over things which you would get as a developer. But if you see this flashing and if it keeps showing your device and then keeps disconnecting, then there is a problem with your cable. Make sure to have a good quality cable. Buy it from Amazon, but get a good quality one so that you don't get into the trouble. Now I'm going to switch over to Unity, and there is a configuration which we need to check, and let me show you what that is. Go ahead and open Unity Hub, and you would actually see the projects to begin with, but then on the left you would see installs, and choose the version which you're planning to use. In this case, I'm going to use 2022 342. Near that version, I actually see a cogwheel, so clicking on that gives me this add module option. So make sure to check that Android build support is enabled. You can just go ahead, click that and click on install, and that will get things installed for you. Now let's go ahead and create a VR project. So I'm going to click on create new project, and then I'm going to choose the version which I'm going to use, 2022 342, and I'm going to choose the VR template here. If you're choosing it for the first time, you might get a download button. So finish downloading that template, and then once you're done, you can assign the project name. So I'm going to do it as my VR project. Oops. All right. And then click on create project. Now that is going to take a while to install once again. Once the project creation is done, we'd be greeted with this beautiful VR template, which has almost all the elements for us to try out. It has interactions with the UI, and then we have interaction with the 3D objects and scene, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and see how to configure this project a bit more. If there is anything that needs to be done, we'll do that. So let's go ahead and check on things. The first thing which I want to do is go to project settings and see what we have in terms of the XR plugin management. I could see actually the OpenXR is checked and it is on the Windows, Macs and Linux, but we are developing for Android, so let me go ahead and check that one also. So here I'm clicking on the Android tab and it says OpenXR is checked and there is a little yellow icon, so let's just click on it. That brings us to project validation. A project validation is a very handy tool. It tells what are the things that is not going it tells what are the things that are going wrong with the project which you have currently. Skip on that. But if you have something which is red, that's basically an error and you need to sort that before you go forward. Now let's go, and with that is done, let's go to quality, and here we could actually see what the profiles are. We have very low, low, medium, high, very high and ultra. Now, you need to remember that if you are developing for a standalone device like Quest 2 or 3, it is always advisable to have the graphics level at a very optimal range. Now, choosing the low profile is not going to guarantee you that. You have to create a new profile. So I will have a separate video on the settings which we could use for having a good performance out of the application which you have. Now, for now, low should do the work. So looks like the settings are fine. Let's go to File, Build Setting. Now, one major switch which we need to do is, in this case, we need to click on Android and we need to click on Switch Platform. We are not going to build it out on Windows, rather we would be building it for Android. Now you could see the global illumination is going on. Now this is not related to the scripting as such, it is more related to the lighting, so we can go ahead and continue with the process. Now the Android is already selected, we clicked on Switch Platform. Now we have the option of build and run. The first thing which I'm going to do is, though, I'm going to have my Quest 3 connected using the wire and it is powered on. Yes, it is on. And the first step, what I'm going to do here is click on refresh button and see if my device is listed here, and there you go. So unless and until you have developer option enabled on your device and did all the previous steps in terms of switching, having an option in terms of adding the Android module and switching the platform here in this window, which is the build setting, you will not see this option. So make sure to do this process in order to have this. The moment you have this option, then it is easy peasy. You can just click on build to get a APK which is locally on your desktop computer, but you could also choose build and run, which will actually load the software onto the device. So my test VR, go ahead and give the file name and click save. Okay, so once the build process is done and you wear the headset, you should actually see the application running by default. All right, but what if there is a situation where your app is not running? Then let me show you how to go and find that. Now this is the main page of the Quest, and you can click on the library icon towards the end of the taskbar, and once you do that, you would find the unknown sources on the left hand side right below application. This is going to list all the applications which you have installed, and in this case I think I did my VR project. Yeah, I could see that. Clicking on that is going to open your application. Okay, so that's pretty much it in how to get started with Quest devices and Unity. Now the version which I've used in terms of Unity is 2022 342. There is Unity 6 which has been launched pretty recently, but it is still in the preview stage. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments and I would be more than happy to answer. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, have fun creating.